Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentario's Magic Stream on today's Sunday, June 16th, 2024. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big Cheese is not currently available due to some family stuff. It's okay, just, visiting and obligations. I'm Arcat, and
I'm Big Cheese.
Hi, Big Cheese. Hey, you made it! Perfect timing.
I'm Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus.
We need the, what was the Carol Channing version of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Spartacus.
That is exactly what my mind went to. I am so glad that we have grown up with Whose Line. And we've also grown up with this game, which is, I guess, why we still put on these things, that and to make Whose Line references.
I don't know about you, I do this to make people mad.
We need to do Hoedown.
I'm just here to create problems.
Well, that's good, because we've got a redacted number of them for you today.
Ha 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 ha. Very nice. It has been an interesting week. It's kind of atypical. I don't know why it seems weird. Winnie City happens at the same time every year. For whatever reason, I've just never associated this with kind of being a con season, but I guess technically we're in the middle of it.
Yeah. Kind of are.
And there were not one but two constructed tournaments. One in Harmony and one in Core. Perhaps the last Core tournament we will see without some pretty significant changes. Hint, hint, spoilers. But congratulations to everyone who showed up, turned out, played their best. And we're gonna talk about what you did. Because some of it was cool, and some of it was weird. And some of it was cool, but also weird.
I was about to say, those things are not mutually exclusive.
They sure are not. New
Let's
City varies from April to June. Okay, well that would be why it would seem kind of odd then. Joking Luna says, I totally brought the weird. Yeah, at least in one of these. So, without further ado, let's dive in and take a look at the Harmony lists, as Harmony over the last year has been one of the most interesting formats, in my opinion. It's been completely wacky and off the walls, and you never know what you're going to run into, and the power level is through the roof, but it always has been. But there's just so much variety between these decks now, I find it really cool.
Alright.
But that might just be me.
Let's take a look at our first one here. Let's see.
Hey, this is
No points for guessing who this one is. Well, let me count the epics.
This is definitely a deck that I've seen before.
Mm-hmm. Now, who could be sitting here playing Farm in a Harmony tournament and relying on dodgy Shopkeeper? I think Ocean Waffles.
No.
Is that not the player?
No, I mean, you have this one written down as Pancake. Like, his name's even on one of the cards, in fact.
Ocean Waffles, new name confirmed. There we go. Perfect.
Sounds good. Sorry, Pancake, you've been renamed. Deal with it.
Waffles are superior anyway. Fight me. No, that's a tangent talk stream for meticulous talks.
You can sit here and... Alright, no, we're having a fight here. Because you're not doing crepes. Come on. Heathrock will back me up on this one, too.
The crepes are good. Not gonna lie. How often are you going to make crepes at home?
I don't have to.
Never, because he burns everything.
This is correct.
Also correct.
How's that soup? Is it crunchy?
Yes, actually. But that's working as intended.
Uh-huh. Anyway. Chaos Farm here. Pink-orange Chaos Farm leaning into Shopkeep. I say Chaos Farm, that's being maybe kind of generous, but, like, there's a fair amount of chaos in here. You got Fernando, and you got Berry Punch, and Double Big Mac, and Spike and Gabby, and House Magic Blast. Like, that counts, right?
Big Mac's the most important one. Counters on main.
Counters on main real strong. Speaking of counters on main, Dodgy Shopkeep, it'll do it too. I think the real tech we've seen out of these types of lists is being able to use Sudden Fruition as your event enabler. And since Skystar gets you the early pink wreck, it's just so useful. Like, Surprise Party Notes is in there, and it's good. It flips for a lot, and it can kind of control your top deck, which is not bad, and it's free. But if you give me the choice between playing any of these, I'm going to play the card that is almost certainly going to result in me not having to actually spend any cards to do so, and put up a wall. Or, another epic to fight. Joking Luna says there was much hate for Fernando. I believe it. If you're using Fernando and Baby Flurryheart, that's just disrespectful. I appreciate that disrespect.
She's mad that she can't have her sippy cup.
Yep.
Gets a sippy straw instead.
Baby Flurryheart is, the art on that card is actually the perfect imagery for your opponent's face when you play this list against them. Pancake says you draw through the deck enough that you get your Chaos. Also, Chaos Magic Blast was the most important Chaos card. I believe that. It's also very useful. Consolation Prize alongside Staff of Sakanas, Pinky says 10. Okay, so let's see. We've got 10 events. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 friends. We've got 3, 6, 9, 10 resources, and the rest being troublemakers. That's a pretty good split. You are very likely to get Shopkeep active. And anyone who has played against Shopkeep, of course, the thing that's so terrifying about that is, in my opinion, the draw 4 that comes off of it, because you're very likely to hit another Shopkeep off of that. So just chaining them into each other in the same turn is just so devastating. Pancake says works with Consolation Prize. Staff of Sakanas works as an optional Flurryheart. Also true. Get some card advantage going there. Oh, Staff. You've been so good for so long. I think maybe the only other thing to really look at in here would be some of the singleton selections. Berry Punch, I assume, is just kind of your go-to option for guaranteeing you can win a troublemaker face-off when you need to farm. I don't know. Maybe Pancake can chime in here. Nightmare Star, obviously going to be very good against decks with lots of AT generators.
And she's just annoying.
Nightmare Moon, good against some combo decks to mess that up. And Fernando, good for the single target face-off, so. One Daisy Lily and Roseluck. Probably because there's no other forced exhaustion in here. Berry Punch was a giant threat, easy double confront late game. Okay, sure, that makes sense. It's going to have a lot of power. And looking at your problem deck, she's capable of solo confronting every problem there. Yeah, that makes sense. Daisy, Lily, and Roseluck was sideboard, yeah. Yeah, we'll see if they remain sideboard. We'll talk about a list very similar to this one here in a moment. Also, I'm going to start counting the number of decks that have Foolish Argument in them, so we're at 1 out of 1 so far.
Yeah.
And, Ara, do you want to say it? The big yellow doom ball hanging over this thing?
No, I'd rather save that comment for the end of the stream.
All right. It still wins games, that's all I'm saying.
Yes, it does.
Next list.
Next list. Don't press the cut button. Okay. Got you blue. No yellow, though. A little bit of purple.
Is there? Oh, luster. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, using luster alongside lunch break for kind of your point finisher, not a bad choice.
See why not?
And then what do we have here?
I mean, it's got all the usual suspects here. We've got face rearranger, main assistant, more shots off of plush dash, plush dash. I heard you like troublemakers.
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah.
Reading Rainbow is obviously nice, since it can allow you to not only find your lunch break or related pieces that much faster, but also allow you to use Staff of Sikonis to disrupt the opponent and effectively pay nothing so long as you're going to play a card that costs at least 2 after that in the same turn. So that's not bad. I'm a little curious in mostly 2 cards in this list. I'm curious about Thunderlane, as we've generally seen that card restricted to like the farm lists, right? Like One Punch Mare. And I'm curious about Scootaloo Larger Than Life.
I mean, he is expensive, but he still rearranges faces.
This is true. If you're
Yeah.
not go ahead, Ivory.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't think Thunderlane is a bad choice, even in aggro list. He's just expensive.
Like, that's his biggest problem, is he's expensive.
You do have discounts here as well, right? You've got Change Link and Change, and you've got Reading Rainbow. And if you've had a troublemaker face-off, or you've done something with Staff, or How About You, then he can potentially be cheaper. I guess it makes sense since he's also diligent, right? If you're taking extra turns, that's just free movement and is more likely to result in a DFO on your next turn, and it doesn't cost anything. So that's probably correct.
As for Larger Than Life, I would imagine it's because it can confront all but one of the problems in the problem deck by itself.
And
That's true.
there is an argument for just efficiency.
And Swift. Swift is always nice.
Efficiency.
2 for 4. 2 for 4 power is not bad, and Harsh Accusations is not going to come up later because you're going to start with that one almost certainly.
Yeah, more than likely.
Start with that, stop the opponent from being able to, really go crazy. Since you've got a 7 confront rec on the other side, and then every other problem past that point you should be able to do solo. So, yeah, that makes sense. I guess there really aren't a lot of other options there, are there? Not at that level of efficiency. C Pancake says no mystery in the problems. This is true, because you're looking to stay low to the ground as much as possible. Mystery is 5. These are all 4. Well, except
Other
for
than
Harsh.
Right, but
And Foolish, but I mean, Foolish is.
Foolish can turn into a 4.
Yeah, Foolish is like 7 minus.
3, but turns into something that can be hit with a 4.
I was waiting for it.
You know what I meant.
I know what you meant. I have to be pedantic, okay? You give me the opening. Pancake
Also,
says
this is
epic
the
win was so
second-
rough.
Second deck with Foolish.
This is true. Golden Horseshoe, also a very good card.
Not a rack of Foolish, though.
Only one. All right, next.
All right. Oh.
This one.
Okay. Yes. Yona Bar Rarity. What are we using as our?
What are we using
As
our
your what?
No. Oh, okay. So we're going for outrageous outfit. Yeah. All right.
I mean,
Correct.
it's an option, but you don't really need to do it. It's just that if you get it, great. This deck runs fast enough on its own without it.
I mean, sure, but if you're gonna run that package, it's just like, all right, where's your where's your special?
Well, you're running it because you're mono white and you may as well, but I've
I mean,
seen
that's
this deck win just fine without it.
I mean, that's fair. And this is also in Harmony. This has access to everything that White has. That's infuriating, and my, that's a large number of cards.
Oh yeah, Opalescence, Fancy Pants, Flower Ponies, Aloe.
All right, and then we go through the events. Like, this is mostly newer stuff.
for the most part, yeah. You've got a little bit from print and play, but most of those are probably sideboard. Your fashion overloads and your fit of peaks, right? Pancake says Wink and Reliving History both got me. I believe that.
That's what those are there for. If you're not if you're not chomping on your dice by the end of this match, like, this deck is not doing the right thing.
Now I have to take a look here for 1 second.
I think this is adventure legal, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't see any premier block.
2 more foolish.
Yep, 2 more foolish, correct. Princess Mask is, let's see, there's no buckball in here, so if you're going to be able to play something with more than 1 rec, you're going to be able to play that, which means technically it's better than 10 Carat Hat. 10 Carat Hat is lower rec, but like you have only what? Aloe and okay. So the one circumstance under which 10 Carat Hat would be better than Princess Mask is if you have an Aloe in play, your main is on their start side, and you have. Well, no, even that wouldn't matter because you could have Opalescence or Rarity. Never mind, ignore me. I was just curious because there are no changelings
That you can see.
that I can see. Correct.
Infuriating
Reliving
deck.
History. Yeah, Reliving History is a good card, and I mean it is very frustrating playing against aggro because you get into the aggro minds. Is this the same list you've played against before, Ivory?
Not a 1-for-1, but it's basically the same. There's like a couple card changes.
Okay. It's got to be frustrating when you are going head to head with this as another aggro deck and you are playing to 15 points and your opponent is playing to 8 because they'll just drop the Endless Generosity and close the game out that much faster.
Depending on how their start goes, they may just endless generosity really early just so that the point advantage is so far in their favor that you just you just concede because you're like, well, I'm not winning this.
I mean, that's fair. Even just the incremental thing, right? Heck, you could be especially rude if you really wanted to, and if you've got a couple of friends in play at problems, just especially if you've got some unicorn tokens, just duplicate Summoning Bell on them and put 5 unicorns into play. They won't be happy about that either.
Well,
All right.
no, like that's the point of this, is that both play. This is a deck where fun is a negative sum game. Like, both players come out of this just being like, but one of them won.
I feel like
Yeah.
if someone's gonna bother to run this, they're not the type of person to come out of it grumbling when they win.
Maybe. Sniff, maybe.
All right, deck 4. Second lunch break list. No Foolish this time,
Got a honk.
but we got a honk, and we got some still partying going on here.
Rack of Angel Wings. This also looks very annoying to play against if you're trying to get anything done.
There's a lot of card draw here.
So you got Silverstream, still partying, eager training, Gabby, Pinky's present, inside information. I know this one. Wonderbolt's rap. All excellent choices. You got a little bit through your problems. But ultimately, I think what they're going for here is playing lunch break for extra confront steps with Gabby New Lease on Life, or New Look on Life, sorry, into still partying. Between the Angel Wings and the Gallows and Silver Streams and oh, this is cool. I like this. I was very confused about why this particular player was opting to run Babseed as their pink entry, given that we've had so many more cost-efficient options. And the answer is because Babs, by herself, is likely to be able to get you close to your Unity threshold that you need for Pinky when you trigger Gabby.
Because you're going to be drawing a billion cards anyway.
I like it. That's really clever. Let's see. How's the blue here?
Relying mainly on trading traditions and the resources, it looks like.
Yeah, that one trade.
Yeah, there's enough backup here that I think this is safe from getting trading sniped from it.
It's a little greedy, actually. I only see the 4, unless I'm missing something here.
I mean, that's enough backup because you don't expect trading to get sniped.
I mean, you do have the ability to play Angel Wings right away if you have it, but Angel Wings is it, right? Silverstream actually takes some effort to get set up. You can move her up to trading on turn 1, I suppose, if you wanted to be like extra sure that your opponent was not going to confront and get the surprise eccentric going there, because that can also put you into belly flop.
Yeah.
But that would also require you to have a friend.
Yeah, you don't have. Yeah. I think this is probably safe enough. Yes, it's greedy, but I think it's safe enough.
I can't be that greedy with pink blue. I've gotten stonewalled so many times. But some people can't. We've seen greedier.
I mean, we've seen much greedier. We've seen pink blue lists that were relying on
If your deck dies immediately to one Nightmare Moon friend being put into play, it's too greedy.
Nightmare Moon would be legal in this format, that's true.
So we're not at that level of greed, so it's probably fine.
That's fair. Neat idea, though. Always like the Gabby still partying list, and combining that with lunch break is pretty clever. So, and Luster Dawn as well. So you've got even more ways for extra confront steps. So this thing's going to churn through its deck like nobody's business. Next one.
Let's have a history lesson here. Okay, so what's that main up in the corner? Who remembers this one? Don't look it up.
That was my first one.
Could not even begin to tell you what that main did.
So you know how everyone complains about like Grogar on his boosted side, starting with Buckball, or on his start side, starting with Buckball and having 4 power, Grocord? Well, meet the original 4 power main.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is, isn't it?
It is. It is how it is. I had actually completely forgotten that this main had caretaker until I sat there and looked at the list again. Now, it's worth noting a couple things about this list. The first one is that, as far as I can tell, oh no, there's one buckball strategy. Is that it? There's a buckball strategy, there's Gaggle of Geese. Okay, so excluding the problem deck. Oh no, but there's Kindness Can Be. Okay, I'm crazy. For whatever reason, I thought this deck had no print and play cards. Never mind. It has some print and play cards.
Yeah, no, it's got. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run a single print and play card in this list, yeah, it's pretty hard to argue against. I don't know. Maybe Pretty Fluttershy.
Joking Luna says, Kindness Can Be is very helpful. Kindness Can Be is fantastic if you have the ability to do a lot of power boosting, either on your main or among your friends. And let's count the anthems here.
No Forest Owl of 10.
Flamingo. Fluttershy, Leader of the Pack. Professor of Kindness. Conductor's Baton. Fast Food. Industrial Revolution adds tokens into play at every problem.
But.
But.
No Forest Owl of 10.
But no Forest Owl of 10. This is correct.
And correspondingly, it's not running Free Owl.
I'm curious here about a couple of cards. The first one, actually, they're right next to each other. The first one is Philomena, and the second one is Critter Caregiver. Fluttershy, did she originally have a home limit of 5, or was she home limit of 4?
No, she should be 5.
She is 5? Okay. You've already got an extended. Of the critters that you have here in your deck, the ones that matter for you to be keeping in play are Flamingo, Falcon, Philomena, and, like, maybe Brian. Maybe. Critter Caregiver is very good at hiding in the deck. Okay, so you never saw it. I just wonder how useful Critter Caregiver's effect is over Cutie Mark Zippo, who has the similar thing but can put critters into play, and I believe also gets extra power. Maybe not. I know it's 1 AT more expensive, but Philomena is the other one that kind of surprises me here. As your only friends that do not have the critter trait are going to be Leader of the Pack, Caregiver, Kindness Can Be, and Professor of Kindness. So I would be curious to hear why Joking Luna opted to run those particular cards, given that there are a few gaps in here of things that I would expect to see in a mono-yellow critter list, like, for example, Bunyip. Or, since you're running print and play cards, Krenkoshy, whatever it's called. Help me. Birds with a Feather.
Yes. Or adoption
The meme
options,
names
actually.
are so ingrained into your mind, you forget what the real name is.
I've been watching a lot of Modern Horizons 3 gameplay. Okay, the set just came out, so I'm a little magic brained right now.
Oh. Those Falcons, though.
Falcon's great, man. Falcon is wonderful with Beastmaster. There's a reason the deck worked well.
Yes, I know.
Okay, Joking Luna says Philomena is a legacy from a while back. She's meant to combine with Flambigo to make all characters have the same power. I completely understand that. However, you have more critters than non-critters anyway. And if you're already over 8 points, you're probably not moving Professor of Kindness from home, and you're probably not moving Critter Caregiver from home. So you're already going to have a lot of power there with your critters. Also, you've got so many anthems here. Look at all the anthems. Leader of the Pack, Conductor's Baton, Fast Food, Professor of Kindness, just Flamingo there as well.
Why not more?
I am very surprised to not see Friends Are Always There.
They are always there, at the problems.
I guess so. Turning Point, as some troublemaker or anti-troublemaker tech, not bad. Cool option. I would love to see more players rely on Repulsor Blast, as it stops the opponent from being able to put a different troublemaker into play at immediate speed, because it just doesn't care. Friends Are Always There was another sacrifice for deck size. Okay, so that's fine. You made choices, and you ran the list as is.
Yeah, some of this is down to playstyle.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's fine. It's a playstyle preference. It is not the sacrifices I would have made, but I think the core of the idea is, we've seen what Mono Yellow has done for years, right? It goes wide, or it goes big, or it does both. And in this case, you're doing both. And if your opponent doesn't have answers to it or can't keep up, yeah, they're gonna have a bad time. I am sure that there are several players who were in fact scared of what this deck could do.
Remember when yellow was the color that people were like, yellow can't do anything. Why would you have a mono yellow deck?
Yes, and then Canterlot Knights came out, and Fluttershy started rearranging faces. So
and then there was it was the period of time where it's like, oh, no one's playing yellow, and then core happened.
Yeah, Blue Fairy may have made me eat my own words a couple times on mono yellow. I am not surprised that there are players who would be intimidated of what this exact list can do. I would be intimidated of what, with a little more tuning, it'd be even more capable of doing. So, be interested to see what happens with this in the future. All right, let's do deck number 6.
Bugs! Except the wrong bug at the head.
This is clearly Ara's favorite deck.
This is my least favorite deck. Look at that thing up in the corner. It's disgusting.
Look at the things directly below it.
Several of those are also disgusting. There are some good ones, though.
And this is my favorite deck on the Citadel.
Oh my god.
Are you mad?
Yes, of course I'm mad. A bunch of traitors went and blew our queen's things up, then stole her house.
They mostly just stomped her chair. It was a nice chair.
It was actually pretty ugly. Put it out of its misery.
SMH. Which is also in here as a one-of.
The chair is there. It is. The chair is right there. Okay. What to say about this list? You've got most of the
bugs.
Most of the changeling. Yeah. I think
we're in harmony, so we get to play with the what is that? The best of friends? Yeah, the +1/+1. We've got stick abuse.
The reasons for some of the choices are due to a limited number of cards the player owned. That is completely understandable. I totally get that. There is nothing wrong with having to make choices based on what your collection can support. If this particular player was to opt for any additional cards, I think Herd obviously would be a good inclusion. And for the love of God, I don't care what your entry option is. literally any other entry option. Take that main 6 and throw it in the garbage.
Main 6 is... Oh wait, there's...
No, this has a good set of entry other than that, but that one Underwater Explorers, that just...
I don't even remember... Wait, is that the one that you have to remove a counter to give it a color?
Yes. We don't talk about that card. That card exists for exactly one purpose, and that purpose is limited. Literal 1. Which is fine, because it's also a 1 of.
Yes, correct.
Like, if you needed a 45th card, okay. But please, there were better options. Please.
Yes. Even limited doesn't want Underwater 6. I completely agree. That's fine. At least there was only 1, so that's fine. Main
That
6.
being said,
well,
we got tons of other entry options available, so chances are they didn't even draw it.
Sure. You know what else works well with Novo? The 3-power changeling that you can just play that's 3 power and a color forever. That doesn't require you to spend extra priority windows or jump through hoops to put power counters on it. Like, I'm not saying that there are not cards that you can run that will allow main 6 to do what it was designed to do. Every single one of those options is worse than just having a piece of entry that is entry by itself.
Please don't run this card.
Right.
Anyway.
Otherwise, list is fine. We know what Changelings does. Changelings does great stuff, and you've got the 3 Defend the Hives, and you've got pirate ships, and you've got Big Bug. You're fine.
So it's bugs, except you get to go back into some of the older sets and pick up Stick Abuse and Throne.
Yeah. Thorax plus Defend the Hive will always equal profit.
It's true. You win.
It equals hissing.
That's only a you thing. For everyone else, it's profit.
Understandable.
All right. So that was Harmony. Very different Harmony than what we had most recently seen at Babs. It was Babs, right? Where we ran a Harmony?
No, I don't think we did Harmony at Babs. I thought we did the 100 card thing. Not 100 card. Highlander.
Yes. Highlander, you know.
Yeah. Maybe it was, did we do Harmony up at VPE?
Would have been VPE, I think. Because VPE has traditionally been a Harmony con.
Harmony was sucked. I remember that, right? And then VPE here as well. Okay, cool. Different. New options. Always cool to see new decks. Now let's talk.
Let's talk something a little more central. More less. More less is what it is.
Smaller card. Bigger shenanigans? Probably not. It's tough to beat Harmony's shenanigans.
Equally sized shenanigans. Oh, didn't we already look at this list? Also, 2 more Foolishes.
No, yes. This one has the other Flurry Heart in it, though.
No Fernando. No Big Max.
Yeah, those cards that you can't run, but... You know what? If it works... There's nothing else to say. If it works, what's the problem here? You just have to edit it a little bit to make it legal in the format.
The premise here is effectively unchanged, right? We're still doing Chaos Farm. Pancake says it cost him little time to swap like the 5 cards. Agreed. Very, very minimal time required to actually do that here. So rather than spend a bunch of time going into depth on the core version here, we're going to save this for later. Because we've got some...
We've got a special for you. Something interesting.
We don't have to be vague about it. It was in the announcement.
Yes.
But it's more fun to be vague about it.
It is.
We'll talk about that later.
We're trying to bait the full video views.
Anyway, Raid Shadow, thanks for
Nah, screw that. We're sponsored by Wuthering Heights.
What?
Nice.
Yeah, we're going full anime now.
Can we?
No.
Thankfully,
Okay.
I can pay for all these great anime subscriptions with my credit card, which I keep sitting
Oh
inside
my
my rich wallet.
All right, go
You've
to the
been
next
watching
list.
too much YouTube. Anyway,
We are done with the sponsors.
Okay.
we'll come back to that. Uh,
Well, it's Big Orange.
this is orange, and it is reasonably large. It's large like those weird oranges that you only get around Christmas that are unusually large for some reason.
My God. Pancake, stop it. Bad.
Okay, so big orange. Two Morphologies, by the way.
We have seen Big Orange from Prismlight, who is the pilot of this deck, a number of different times since that archetype started getting more support.
It started getting bigger.
Yes, it started getting bigger. Ha ha ha. This is, in my opinion, the most refined that list has been so far. I feel like there are very few cards in here where I would be disappointed to draw them over the course of the game. And I feel like the number of copies of most of these cards is probably about where they would need to be. And even though the curve of this deck is going to be much more expensive than other traditional mid-range lists, you have to look at the discounts here, right? Because you've got 3 copies of Snack Stand, and you got 3 copies of Tempest Shadow, and you got 3 copies of Limestone, and you've got 3 copies of Price Fixing to be able to get your resources even cheaper.
Yeah, like when you're looking at this list and your objections are basically down to that doesn't quite feel like my play style. You're hitting a fever pitch.
For your big threats, right? Rescue Party and Garble are both obviously fantastic. Torch can be great disruption if you're just going to park him at a problem and not mess with anything else. You've got 12 enablers here for Apple Bloom Seedling Seeker when you really need to disrupt the opponent, which is...
Gross.
Oh, yeah. The double exhaust combined with the single exhaust. It's so rude. Stunt Dive to increase your efficiency even more. Monumental Evil so that you can have even more permanently exhausted effects, because you're going to be going for face-offs in this list. Pancake asks, did Prism end up drawing too many Stunt Dives? I would be curious to find out. I would also be curious to see if the Singleton copy of Desert Road and the Singleton copy of Staff of Sakanas are there because of collection limitations, or if they're there because you can find both of those with Grogar. I don't know.
I mean, those are also a pair of pretty big. Well, Monumental Evil is also one of those things that's just like great. So this has 5 must-answer threats just in the resources.
Yeah, Desert Road, Staff, Snack Stand, Monumental Evil is going to be rude, and Pirate Ship is good. I wouldn't necessarily call it must answer, but it's pretty good.
Right, but you got 3 copies of Monumental Evil. Like, yes, it's unique, but if they blow one of those up and then you're just like, but aha.
But aha. I had a second one in my hand this whole time. 1 counter jack to wipe the board if you have to. Great. You were saying, Ivory?
I was gonna say, no, the plot twist is you had all three in your opening hand.
Lol.
Actually, sounds like kind of a bad opening hand.
It'd be a terrible opening hand, but maybe it's after the mulligan, you don't have a choice.
I have not much to say yet. Asterisk.
A second Catajack that's one of the super value box cards. That's understandable.
Mhm.
No tricks you have to... Get out!
All right, deck 3.
More bugs!
There are a lot more bugs in this one.
See, I'd accuse Joking Luna of running this. The only reason I'm not is that I know what the next deck is.
I would totally believe this as well. Many bugs.
Many bugs.
This
Okay,
is-
let's see. How
This
many
is
bugs
I
are
loaned it to
Triggers?
someone who wanted to play. Okay, that makes sense. So this is Joking Luna's list.
Okay, guilty by proxy. Sure. Let's see. Do we have any major updates here? It's not running Foolish.
I believe.
Is that
I could be
because
wrong.
checks notes? No. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the same Bugfest list that was used at Ciderfest.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Don't change it. I mean, there's plenty wrong with this. Let me see. Hold on. One,
No,
two,
no, you can't
three,
discount
4,
all of the changelings.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Oh, right. The main 10.
I'm gonna buy a Thorax fursuit and I'm gonna wear it around you all the time.
You know what? I'm gonna count this as an absolute win.
You're gonna get punched in the snoot. It's gonna happen. And you will absolutely deserve it.
Okay, you know what? I'll take off half a point because Traitorous Pharynx is the least traitorous of the traitors.
Joking Luna says he did nothing to the deck between Ciderfest and Winnie City because he was playing something different. Totally understandable. Again, tweaks that could be made, but overall, the core of the list is there. If you've got the Changeling package, then you've got, most of what you need.
Bugs.
You got them bugs. Resource removal is friends. Yeah, seems fine. It's bugs. It do what bugs do.
It needs more unchangelings.
The player was another Changeling fan and enjoyed playing it. I don't doubt it. Bugs are fun.
Bugs.
Maybe would want to try to find room for snack stands since bugs really like being played over just remaining in play, and then name white since your only non-white bugs are going to be the yellow thoraxes and patagium. But what do you drop?
Yeah.
Maybe yellow thorax, but that's card advantage potentially.
I mean, I would encourage dropping Yellow Thorax.
Yeah, but it's bad advice coming from you because you'd recommend that regardless.
This is true.
Two turning points, 2 sanctuary constructions, 2 pharynx, and 3 friends are always there. I mean, that's kind of there for resource removal. Yeah, I don't know. Gosh, it's tricky.
You're down to arguing about playstyle again, so yeah.
Yeah. Now seems relatively well tuned. Problem deck definitely needs a bit of retuning. That's the one where there's probably more valuable options than what's in there right now. 8-card pile up has no reason to be played in current core right now.
And then just generally speaking, pick your weakest problem and swap it with Foolish. Because of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Bugs. Someone call an exterminator. There's too much Crayola bugs. Next list.
This looks really annoying. I don't know what else to say about this other than it looks really annoying.
I mean, how many of these cards, if my opponent gets one into play, am I going to say, okay, that's fine?
None of them?
Maybe Pinky?
Maybe Pinky. Maybe. And that's like it. I lost this deck with a final score of 2-1. I fully believe that.
I'm amazed you guys even got that far.
Yeah, that sounds about like what this deck wants to do. It just wants to drag you into the mud and roll around in it because it's better at doing that than you.
Golden Note says he played this at Ciderfest last year and wanted to give it one more playthrough before rotation. I fully understand. Hey, guess what? I have good news for you soon. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Also, the Sunset Festival's, of course, just for the rudeness play.
Prism Light says Big Mac was this deck's worst nightmare, and I am very confused on how that is true given that there are only 4 resources in the deck. Yes, the Pinky Senses are incredibly valuable because you've got 3 copies of Same Day Delivery and you've got... No, that's it. There's no chaos. I guess if he only has Fire of Friendship as the entry, that might be part of it, but, like... Sometimes you get color screwed. It happens.
Yeah, this is pretty greedy on the... this is acceptably greedy.
Yeah, it's got 8 pieces, 3 pinkies, 3 rushed, and 2 fires.
Yeah,
that being said,
that's fine.
That being said, here is the thing. Fire in this deck is probably not the best resource-based entry you could run.
You want to run speeches instead?
You really want to run speech instead because currently the only card that Fire will allow you to play is Rainbow Shine. It lets you play nothing else.
Out of
Pinky
your...
Sense as well.
That's true. Pinky Sense.
Sure,
okay.
But that doesn't get you too far. But yes, your pink stuff is all very high rec, so probably better to go with a speech here.
Speech would work well.
Like, I don't think... Tempest Grubber has not been in the meta for a long time, surprisingly.
It is kind of interesting to see, the purple-pink list with a large supporting event pool that isn't trying to do burb things. We've always seen that with like the interdimensional portals and the Luna's Futures and all that stuff, but we're in core. So unless you're going deep onto like Doctor Who's, at this point you've got Sunburst is the only card that would really be worth portaling, and you're just relying on so many events here and so many discounts off of Rainbow Shine and the disruption from Tempest Shadow, and then Sunset is potentially a great anti-confront tool if your opponent doesn't have any disruption. That being said, if your opponent has disruption, Sunset is going to be an unfortunate play. Pancake says that Golden didn't have the power to get over his troublemakers as well, even though he could stall them out, he couldn't get any ground on me. I mean, it's kind of the price you pay running an event-centric control list right now, is there's just not really as many ways to capitalize on just playing events as your method of controlling, and you can't really use them to build as much power as you would if you were relying on like friend-based control. If this was a Burb style list, for instance, you'd have access to Tempest and Grubber and Bait and Switch and who knows what else. Maybe the Ocellus, the 3-power Ocellus, right? And then you've got more bodies in play. But with the discounts here, I mean, I get it. Golden, if you're still here in chat, did you start the idea for this deck around Sunburst and Sunset Shimmer and then try to build the event suite to support that? Or did they just kind of get thrown in here? Because I haven't seen a deck running this many events in a long, long time. I would just be curious. I agree. Ara, any additional comments on this?
I'm having a problem because OBS is being weird.
Golden says, pretty much, he wanted to do a troublemaker list control deck, but from the last stream we featured this on, we all figured it was more mid-range. Yeah, it kind of is, but there's a lot of disruption here. Hithrock says troublemaker list control decks are always interesting. I also agree. They are tricky to make work.
Hithrock had another complaint, which was not enough Trixie. I believe there is exactly enough Trixie. In fact, there might be too much. There's a sudden and inconvenient amount of Trixie. 3 times that amount, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Also, apparently, Hithrock's threshold for whether a deck is greedy or not is if it has more than 3 entry.
Amazing. Okay, next list.
Yeah, I believe this is going to be last list.
It is not.
No, second to
There's
last.
2 more.
Okay.
So I don't know what else we're supposed to say about this.
Okay, I need to make sure that this okay, here. This is better now.
Okay.
You can't see the number anymore.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Perfect 5 out of 7. No notes.
24 out of 45 no notes. Could probably use some Folishes, but
Could probably use Folish, and you could probably fit Snack Stand in here, and that's literally, like, I've got nothing else.
Yeah, like, run a rack, Snack Stands, 24 of 45 flawless, no notes. Grump is back.
Grump is back.
The troublemaker.
Yeah. When that troublemaker gets up into the 500 power threshold, and your opponent is not running yellow shenanigans to get around it, they will have a sad face.
You best pack, like, hard removal for those troublemakers, because you're gonna have a bad time otherwise.
Yep. Or just run epics.
Or dilemmas.
It's also fair. Because,
But not every color has access to good ones of those.
Yeah, but that's always fun. It's just like, this feels terrible. I need to burn an epic win on a 0-point troublemaker just to make it go away, because the thing's sitting there at 512 power, and I can't do anything about it.
Hithrock says, I still think infiltrating is a good start to avoid Novo because flipping Novo turn 1 feels bad. I absolutely agree. That's a good point. Yeah. 1 copy of infiltrating to be able to discard some extra puck wedgies and get your wreck into play and then have that burst turn later, probably a very good choice.
Yeah, bootstrap it. Yes. Okay, last Harmony list.
All right.
Core list.
Core list, yes.
List. It's the Gogurt.
No such thing as extra puck wedgies. Please tell me the games you played all 24 on.
I mean, I believe both Hithrock and myself can confirm that you need no more than, I think, 7 puck wedgies and just a big old bowl of dice.
I mean, that's about right. I do need to start calling this main Grogurt. It's much funnier that way.
Gogurt.
Grogurt.
The Gogurt.
No, Gogurt is something you buy at the supermarket.
Yes.
Grogurt is this main.
Yes, but it's cheap and a farce of what it should be. I'm still spicy about this main. Anyway, orange, white, obnoxious.
I have to pause here for a moment, just to be sure, before I say this. I feel relatively comfortable saying this is a mill deck.
What makes you say that, mill player?
Sweetie Belle, Rockturret, Stygian, and Apple Jewel, and Raise This Barn. However, Plaid Stripes, Garble, Rarity and Trenderhoof, and like every other card in here are just irritating.
Well, yes.
Maybe just a control deck that happens to mill.
I mean, mill might be its win condition, right? There's no mismains in here, and if you're going fast enough, then the Rock Droid will give you the points. Okay, Golden Note says, yes, Brandon wanted this to be a mill deck. We had been trying to experiment with mill and core for a while, and he came up with the better list between the two of us. Okay. Jogan Luna says, it was a mill deck. It completely went through my Puckwudgie deck, but I already had 7 of them in play with the Fluttershy.
The way the Puckwudgie deck just wins against mill is to run 1,000 of the Puckwudgies.
Well, but that's okay. Admittedly, that list is taking the Puckwudgie thing semi-seriously, and that's fine because we have established what happens when you go full ham and just say, "What is my deck? Puckwudgie. What's in your hand? Puckwudgie. What's the top card of your deck? Puckwudgie. How many cards are in your draw deck? Puckwudgie."
Puckwudgie, correct.
Right. That is a known and solved problem. That's not interesting. The solution is you go cry in the corner because honestly, that is it's just bad. It's not even it's funny for the first 2 games, and then they're just like, I've made a terrible mistake. Joking Luna's list is taking this seriously, and it's going to be fun.
Right.
And the problem is that those 2 extremes are mutually exclusive. You can't sit there and just give the what is the high hoof? Yeah, there we go. To the mill deck and also be running a Puckwudgie list that's even attempting to be reasonable. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
It's a good TED Talk. Can I borrow your soapbox for a moment?
Yes.
Okay. If I had a box to make noise, I would absolutely
do not make me go get the image. I still have that image.
Yeah, I know you do. Okay. So the comment surrounding this deck was that this was intended to be a mill deck, and it was the best of 2 options that a couple of players were able to come up with, and that is completely understandable. You've got a fair portion of mill options in here that will burn through your opponent's deck pretty quickly. And you also have a fair portion of disruptive, hand cards, right? You've got Desert Road, which makes friends in hand, pretty much worthless. You've got 3 Rarity and Trenderhoofs, you got 2 Charred Chapters, you got 2 Garbles. So you should be able to also rip some cards out of your opponent's hand. That's great. In order to understand why mill works in Adventure and Harmony, you kind of have to look at what the main issue that you run into trying to play mill and core is. And looking at this list, my guess is he's probably encountered it at least once, which is the cards you need to set up to either burn through your opponent's deck fast enough or steadily grind them out while, taxing them or disrupting their hand are very expensive. It is not a cheap deck AT-wise to play. The reason mill works in Adventure and Harmony is because you are able to rely on many of the purple cards that are present to give you action token advantage, and you are able to rely on some other cheating methods, basically, of getting your mill effects without having to pay for them again. And that is really through Octavia, who is a stupid card. When you don't have either of those options in here, your ability to mill the opponent is not necessarily reduced as much. Like, you don't have I'm the friend you need, but, like, whatever. That's fine. You can run Stygian, you can run Rock Turret. Apple Jewel gives you extra uses out of Rock Turret. Like, it's fine.
You get the friend you deserve, not the friend you need.
Right. However, you will absolutely find yourself stonewalled by how many action tokens you need to maintain the pressure on your opponent and the disruption simultaneously. There are other ways you can do it, and you can kind of focus on one or the other. There is nothing wrong with just playing orange-white disruption, right? That can absolutely happen. If you
And that's
drop
infuriating.
Oh yeah, it's rough. You drop some of the mill package, you can leave your opponent with no cards in hand, very, very easily. You can also just go full mill. I think you're probably going to have better luck doing that, going purple as a secondary color over white. I know it means you can't run Rarity and Trenderhoof. I know it means you can't run Sweetie Belle, and I know it means that it reduces your options with Stygian to duplicate Rock Turret. But your ability to portal key friends is going to be really, really nice. And you also get to run Coriander Cumin, and there is no better hand disruption that exists in core right now than Coriander Cumin. That card is very good. And Hithrock is questioning me calling Octavia a stupid card. Changed my mind.
If this results in another treaty, I'm going to be upset. And mildly amused.
Yeah. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
This still looks obnoxious to play against.
Oh, absolutely. So we kind of hinted at something here a little bit earlier, which is we got these cool lists, and this is the one of the last times that we were likely to see this particular core format. But we've already been talking a lot about set 14. We've had a lot of spoilers being revealed. We've had a little bit of a deck discourse on the 6 new mains and what you might be able to do with them.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about what you might be able to do with some of those new cards.
All right. What you got for us?
So, as promised earlier, we had this. Right? Okay. It's a nice deck. Looks pretty annoying. Not bad. Not bad. Except there's too many of these cards that have little symbols in the bottom corner. You know, a little changeling symbol, little yellow star thing, little weird jellyfish thing. All those are going away. So you got to fill some stuff in. And we thought about that. And here's what we think you could fill in.
They're so shiny.
They really are shiny.
There's a bunch of new cards in here.
There are. Hithrock says, "Where's Pip?"
She's on there. Why?
Don't you see her?
Yeah, she's on there. What are you talking about?
If you zoom in really far on the Mare stream, you can probably see like a few pixels of her.
Yeah, she's right there. Yeah, she's on there.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Mare stream does not count. Yes, it does. Much of the core of this is the same. We still got the pinky senses. We still got the consolation prize and the chaos package. Like, that's all fine. Do we need to address the elephant in the room of what are we doing running Starlight Glimmer? We're all equal here in a constructed list.
I think so, yes.
Okay. In order to talk about Starlight Glimmer, first we must create the universe, or whatever that line was. First we must look at Dragonstone. Let's go look at Dragonstone here for a second.
Right. Read the text because this is the interesting part. Exhaust this card to double the power of one of your dragon characters until the end of your turn. Your turn. The turn, because it's immediate. If this card has at least one magic counter on it, and that character has no magic counters on it, put a magic counter on that character. So what you're telling me is once a turn cycle for free, I can just double my main's power and drop a magic counter on it.
If you're running a dragon main.
Hey, what does she say? Choose a trait from among Alicorn, Changeling, Dragon, Earth Pony, Griffin, Pegasus, or Unicorn. Is that coloring? Is that trait? Hey, that sounds good. So I can have a dragon main that's whatever color I want, that I can guarantee I can flip, and then if I get a Dragonstone out, it just automatically turns into 6 power.
Seems good.
Also gets a magic counter on it.
I mean, maybe, if Dragonstone has a magic counter on it, too. Starlight Dragon, she hoards equality all to herself. I completely agree. It is also worth noting, not only is Starlight a viable choice in this farm list to work with Dragonstone, post-rotation, she is the only main choice that can do this with Dragonstone. There are no other dragon mains that can benefit from Dragonstone. Everyone else is going to have to do it with their friends. Starlight is objectively correct if you are trying to boost her power with this resource.
Does this mean Starlight is finally not a 1?
I think it might.
I don't think Starlight was ever a 1. She was never going to be better than a 2. At least in that meta.
I don't even know if she was ever a 2. Because we had the Sequestria and Beyond mains that were there that whole time too, but now it's a different meta, so
We did, but maybe they weren't the right trait or the right color. So there are situations where she was what you needed, but now there's a situation where she isn't just what you need, she's what you deserve.
Mm-hmm. At least 5 hero counters on this card. No, stop it, Hithra.
No.
There's a couple new problems here. Not enough glitter. All these options clash. Finding your magic. All these are good calls. If we're gonna sit here and talk about chaos, though, we probably need to look at that Opaline friend. Yeah.
Let's see here. Orange, pink, 3 power, 3 cost, 3 rec. These are not AI generated cards, so the recs are the same. Alicorn and Chaotic. Chaos, when this card is flipped and exhausts an opposing character, that character doesn't ready during its controller's next ready phase. Well, that's already obnoxious.
You don't like bailout on Chaos Slip?
No.
I do.
Immediate during a face-off. Retire this card to search your deck or discard pile for a chaotic card and reveal it. Shuffle your deck, then put that card on top of your deck.
You ever been sitting there playing a Chaos list, holding a Chaos Magic Block in your hand, and really, really wanting to play it, but knowing that that means that you're going to lose access to its Chaos effect for the next few turns, and being really sad about that? What if that didn't happen?
I mean, you can also even have Opaline retire herself to put herself on top of the deck.
You absolutely can do that. you can find your spike and Gabby. Also, because this happens during a face-off, you can choose the timing for this. It can be before you flip to get the access of the chaos effect. It can also be afterwards to set a card on top of your deck and know that you can have it for the next opportunity to draw. Joking Luna says retire puts it in the discard before the search. This is correct. So retire this card to search your deck or discard pile for a chaotic card. So you can absolutely retire Opaline to search for herself, as you pay all the costs before you process the text. And then we've got Marestream. We've seen that being played in at least one of the Meticulous Talks games. Sprouticus and Opaline we've talked about on previous streams as well, but there's some art there now. Sea Pancakes says in Adventure. Sea Pancakes says in Adventure Encore you could put a friend there with Chaos for Pony of Shadows. You absolutely could do that if that friend has Chaos, like you said. No Pony of Shadows in Core, though. I think he means Adventure in Harmony. Animoy says, don't think we've ever had Chaos exhaust. I think we have in AD, but it wasn't a bailout effect. I'd have to go back and look.
There's something there. Like, the bailout effect didn't exist until EO anyway.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, the deck still functions.
Still basically does what it was supposed to.
Hold on to this one. This one's going to be mean.
I'm choosing to interpret that as going to be meme.
It might be. You're running Starlight Glimmer. Okay. How about another one?
How about another one? So
let's make Big Orange bigger.
Oh, yeah, I should probably do this right. Okay. So, yes, Big Orange, right? Okay, but look, there's more of those weird, funny symbols that we don't like anymore. So, what even is this?
It went back to the old version. What is happening?
Yeah, I don't know. Some stuff happened. Sorry, we went through a parallel universe there. That's what would have happened if we went to Pony Life. Don't worry about it. Anyway, post-rotation, Big Orange. Now, this doesn't look much less annoying.
I think if we're gonna highlight Big Orange, we need to look at those two friends I don't think we've seen before. The Sprout friend and Ruby Jubilee.
So let's see what here. Sprout elected. Despot 6 power, 4 cost, 4 wreck. There's an additional cost to play this card.
Hold on. The numbers on that are reversed. That is 6 cost, 4 power, not 4 cost, 6 power. That would be crazy.
Okay.
Boy, it's almost like we need more community resources to help us proof these cards. I'm not foreshadowing or anything.
Okay, I'm sure that I'll get to fix that. Anyway, pay 1 less. Banish any number of cards from your discard pile for each card banished. This way, pay 1 less to play this card. So, your discard pile is just fuel for Sprout. This makes perfect sense. Anyway. That's not the headliner, though. This is the headliner.
Yeah, the headliner that makes characters big. We got Ruby Jubilee, 4 costs, 3 orange wreck, 4 power, Pegasus friend. If one of your characters would be sent home from a problem, you may put a +1 power counter on that character instead.
What's the most important word there, Ivory?
Characters.
Yeah.
What's the second most important word?
May.
Send.
As in don't accidentally. No, it's may. If you move the character home, don't count anymore.
That's right. So
No.
everyone has to be a rules lord with their opponent.
No,
no. I saw that. You moved that card backwards half an inch.
I don't know.
No, not half an inch. No, that's a tier 3 thing. But no, scent is the other important word.
If your opponent has forced movement, it's not going to do it. Opponent frozen in Magicites or uses Tempest or, whatever, no dice. However, replacing being sent home means every single one of your characters at a problem will stay at that problem. Who remembers playing in the Harmony meta, when AJ was still a legal name?
Probably everyone who's here right now.
I think most people do, right? You remember how irritating it was that AJ could park her butt at a problem, beat up epic troublemaker after epic troublemaker after epic troublemaker, and just get bigger as a result of doing so, making it so bad for you to try to face off against her with a problem face-off because you'd probably lose. This is very similar. Your main and all of your friends, including Drooby Jubilee, are just gonna stick to a problem, and if your opponent wants to try to crack back, best of luck to them, because even if they win, guess what's gonna happen to all your characters? They're just gonna get bigger.
And this isn't location restrictive, so if you DFO, everything could stay there.
That card is crazy. There is a reason that card does not have any self-protection on it, because Ruby Jubilee needs to get off the stage.
Which is funny because she's sitting here just being like telling Songbird Serenade to take a hike.
Basically. Also, we have the first one-cost orange dilemma, and it's pretty good. When you play or move a friend to this problem, choose one, put a +1 power counter on that friend, or put a magic counter on that friend. That's pretty good.
Actually, a little bonkers.
Joking Luna says, what would happen to friends at dilemmas? If the friend's area no longer exists, they are sent home by the game, and things done by the game cannot be replaced.
With one particular exception to kill off a combo list.
Right. Otherwise, you still got all the discounts in here. Tempest Shadow's still there, Snack Stand is still there, Limestone's still there, and hey, look, the Dazzle Feather, Sprout, and Ruby Jubilee, those are all, Dazzle Feather is 4 cost, but Sprout and Ruby Jubilee are each 4 power, so they'll get the discount off of Limestone. So that's pretty good. Also, Foolish. Sprouticus, Epic Troublemaker, is going to have to stand in for Catterjack, but that's okay. It's doable. Personally, I love this. I think this is great. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I think Big Orange, especially with how Prism Light had tuned it, is going to look pretty nice. But there's not enough ways to truly mess with the opponent. So let's fix that.
We got time for one more.
Yep, one more.
I got time for one more. I'm busy fixing that image.
While you're at it, you should fix the image on the next card, because that's clearly the wrong art. We went over this last time, what the correct art should be.
Nope. Okay, so remember this? Yeah, more icky set symbols. Let's make those go away.
Okay.
This has a lot of... I see 1, 2... I'm looking for the zips here.
1, 2, 3.
There's a lot of zip front and center cards here.
I didn't even think about running the mono purple zip friend, the super rare. That wouldn't be a bad option in here either.
Zip, zip, hooray!
Hithrock says no pip. Well, we got a little dyslexic and we thought you wanted zip cards, so we put zip in this list.
Yep. So zip, hooray. I love it. Previously, Golden Notes list was based around events. And Sunset Shimmer is not a bad choice for why you'd want to run a lot of events. But I think there's a better option. Let's take a look at that ultra rare down there in the bottom left. This thing is wild. Actually, it's not wild, it's purple, but whatever.
Yeah, that's not going to work. It can't.
Okay, that's fine. Well, that one. Connection Corkboard. 3 cost, 3 rec, 4 power, play to your home. It is unique. If an event you play would be put into your discard pile from the Q zone, banish it beneath this card instead. As you play an event, copy the effects of any event banished beneath this card, then remove any events banished beneath this card. They remain banished. So
that's a lot of text.
That is a lot of text. What does it mean? You play an event. If the event would normally go to your discard pile, you put it beneath this resource. Then the next event you play triggers this ability that copies that last event you played. Then the new event you played gets banished beneath. And the next event you play copies the previous one. The next event you play copies the previous one, and so on and so forth.
We should probably, because it's never really been on a card text before, explain what the Q zone actually is. It's always existed, but it's never really been relevant for
It has
card
not
text.
always existed. It is very relevant because it broke a stupid thing you could do with Nice Moves Kid.
Yes.
It started existing
as a consequence of Nice Moves Kid. Anyway,
yeah.
It is a zone that exists basically as a card is moving from your hand and being executed by the game engine. So everything goes through the Q zone before events apply modifiers or resources go into play, or friends go into play, or troublemakers, etc. Right? So it's a temporary state.
So you play an event, you're paying the cost of this event, and before that event actually takes effect, it exists in the Q zone once you have revealed it and started paying the cost. The full comprehensive rules list the exact timing for when this happened, but the same thing happens to any card you play. It happens to friends, it happens to resources, it happens to troublemakers, it happens to everything. So every event will go through the Q zone. Not every event is going to be put into the discard pile from the Q zone. So, like same-day delivery, for instance, doesn't go into the Q zone. Or, hey, look, this new card called Ta-da! Immediate, pay 1 less to play your next event this turn, put this card on the bottom of its owner's deck. With a chaos effect to pay 2 less to play your next event until the end of the face-off. Yes, joking Luna, a dilemma is a resource in all zones except in play. Okay, so now understanding how Connection Corkboard works, I think it's pretty obvious why Sunset was dropped from this list. Sunset wants all the events to be in your discard pile. Connection Corkboard says, nope, you can get their effects twice, but they're banished forever. Given the choice between the two of those, I figured that rather than have a hasty eccentric friend, you'd probably like to get double value on all of your events. Because that seems okay. Also, I haven't seen the art on a lot of these events, and these are very cool, and there's some irritating ones here. We got resource removal with math doesn't add up. We've got mayonnaise to banish friends and potentially portal them or banish them forever. Successful. Oh my, you really did it, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
You're welcome.
And Magic Brownout. Who remembers Cutie Pox Scare?
Cutie Pox Scare was great.
It's back
Magic.
in zip
It's
form.
back in zip form. Love it. Also, we've got Windy up there. Erratic landings. Not a bad choice. Too many purple zip. That's not true. There could be another purple zip in here. There could be 2 other purple zips in here. She's not even that purple. She is absolutely purple.
Okay, look, if you take her hair, right, and you kind of smear it around a bit.
Yeah, this is pretty purple. If you take her hair, she's white.
Nice.
And if she's white, then she's Pip, so the only difference is that Pip is short and doesn't have hair. This is what I'm hearing. Pip is purple. Pip is not purple. And small cutie.
Yes, she
That
is
much
short.
is true. Yes. Yeah, there's not a whole lot else to add here. More event package and get some W's out of all these things. I mean,
Get some dubs.
get some dubs. Check these dubs. Points at resource on table. What was the last event you played? Math doesn't add. Oh yeah, by the way, be careful about that. If the last event you played is math doesn't add up, Connection Corkboard is not optional. You will have to banish that. And if there are no other resources in play, the next time you play an event, you're going to be very sad. Just be careful.
Yeah, don't goozle yourself.
Or do.
Someone will absolutely do that at some point, and it will be funny when it happens for everyone else.
Yeah. Like, some of these you're going to have to pay a little bit more attention. That's why it's an ultra rare, because it gets complicated.
I love the flavor text on mayonnaise, by the way.
You're welcome.
Well done. Okay. So I don't know about you, but after looking at these lists, after seeing the options that were out there, and some of the new cards that have been spoiled today and the cards we previously spoiled, I just want the chance to play with this stuff as soon as possible.
Well, so those of you who we're not done. Of course we're not done. Those of you who know how this thing works, when we show a deck off like this, it only works because those images are on Ponyhead, basically. And you're like, well, wait a minute. But these images are on Ponyhead. This works. What's explain your smallness? Well, my smallness is I'm Pip. Anyway, this is playtest Ponyhead. It's got set 14 loaded into it. Congratulations, we're doing open beta.
It's live?
Right now.
Literally right now.
And this time I'm not joking.
Technically it was live 4 hours ago, but who's counting? Where's the link? The link's hiding.
All 2 people who bother to check Ara's Ponyhead instance probably knew that 4 hours ago. Everyone else is finding out about it now.
Yeah. Or will when they watch the VOD or see all the discussion that's about to happen in Discord.
And you can see people watch the little icons go.
Yep, I'm watching them right now. Yep, there they go. Perfect. Welcome to the gauntlet. We need your help.
We're already actually getting help, for that matter. It turns out I can't spell mayonnaise.
So, very quickly, for those of you who have not participated in the open beta before, what does this mean? Does it give you access to all of the cards as they currently exist for set 14? Yes, it does. Should you go play and build decks and see what you can make with it and try and break these cards horribly? Yes, you should.
Do I have further rhetorical questions?
Yes, I do. I'm just taking a page out of Zootopia for this.
Yes.
Beyond just testing, though, we also need your help in proofing these cards. We want to make sure that the text on here makes sense. We want to make sure that it follows proper templating. We want to make sure that it is grammatically correct, that it's spelled correct. If you happen to have flavor suggestions on cards where there are opportunities for flavor to be added, specifically in the flavor text, you may add it here as well. We also want to proof the art and make sure there's nothing that's, really janky. Some of these cards are incredibly cursed when you remove the existing frame. We're not going to talk about that art. We're just hoping it hasn't shown up on the actual frame.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got most of that. I haven't done some of the overpainting either. Not that I can do a whole lot of it here, but we'll see what we can do.
Here's the thing, though. We have a theoretical timeline in mind. Not going to mention exactly what it is right now. We really seriously need help. This set has been heavily tested for months and months and months. It's gone through multiple revisions. It's gone through all kinds of tweaks, balance tweaks, redesign, all kinds of things. There's always stuff we miss. Please do what you can when you have time to try these cards out, give some feedback, and even if you don't have the chance to play games, which I understand, review the document and see if there are any text or visual based errors that you might see, because the more...
Crawl all over this thing. Seriously, just crawl all over it. Mess with the cards, see if you can break anything. We look for dumb stuff that can happen. We don't spot all of it, always. Stuff leaks out. Spot this junk, tell us about it, fix it so we don't have to ban a card and make a new one. Please, that's annoying. It's seriously annoying. Go over the art, go over the text. As with the past, I really do appreciate people looking at this because there's only one of me and you get blind to this stuff, and also evidently I can't spell mayonnaise.
And that's probably an important one spell in this set.
Yeah, probably. But yes, just crawl all over this thing. You're literally helping us make a better product for you to use.
Now, how can they go about testing these cards? Does this currently work with Tabletop Simulator?
Rain check on that.
Okay.
Right now, the dev instance of Ponyhead runs this. The main Ponyhead site does not have the new cards loaded into it, partially because it would make a mess. The API, if you care about that, has the cards loaded into it. In order to see what Core will look like post-rotation, you can switch the format to Core 4.0 NG Beta. It still defaults to Core 3.0 for the moment, and especially once this hits retail Ponyhead, it will remain that way, because that's what's currently, live. Tabletop Sim, I'll see about getting that to work. And Octagon will probably work once we get closer to release. Because I need real Ponyhead to have the cards on it to generate Octagon.
Sure. But we hope you all have fun. Do have fun. Try this out. Give us feedback, even if the feedback isn't necessarily something that is actionable right now. It's good feedback for future set development as well. You can either contact us directly or post your comments for discussion in the New Generations Discord channel. Okay, This was a long one. I think we've covered everything. Is that about right?
Close enough.
All right. I'll do an accelerated wrap up here. You know how to get a hold of us: Facebook, Twitter, email. If you're a patron, you can chat live with us on Slack and yell at us about card design in the future. If you're looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel. It's linked just below the stream. Thank you, everyone, for being here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grand Pause.
Big Cheese is still otherwise occupied. I'm Arcat, and
I told you I'm right here.
no,
Sorry,
I'm Spartacus. We missed an opportunity there.
I did. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I'm Spartacus.
Anyway, you know where to find us. Bye.
Yeah.